America and its best friend in the Gulf may be in for a difficult breakup. Saudi Arabia's ruling family is rather upset with changes to U.S. foreign policy. Now, the worst-case scenario for Washington just could be a disruption to oil supplies. However, White House officials insist this whole row is all a bunch of hype. But as RT's Guyanay Chichikan explains, they've been wrong before.
Saudi Arabia hates the fact that the U.S. didn't bomb Syria. Saudi Arabia did everything possible to make it happen, and it didn't. Saudi Arabia hates Iran and any mentioning of a possible nuclear deal between the U.S. and Iran. Washington and Tehran are far from any deal, really, but even the talk irritates Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia decided to go public with all that irritation. The Saudi Prince Bandar bin Sultan said there will be, quote, a major shift away from the U.S. and that it will affect arms purchases and oil sales. And most recently, citing a protest against the U.S., Saudi Arabia refused a seat at the UN Security Council. So could an ally be turning into a foe? I spoke with Professor Daoud Kairala.
The U.S. has invested a lot in the relationship with Saudi Arabia, and now Saudi Arabia is threatening the U.S. I mean, talking oil supplies and all. Where is this alliance going?
Well, the U.S. has paid a heavy price by supporting Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia and many of the Gulf countries are probably the most undemocratic, the most corrupt, and they are really a liability, and they have contributed to the sense of alienation between the U.S. and the Arab world. So for Saudi Arabia, especially Mr. Bandar, to take this position is a little bit astonishing. But I don't think that there will be a total disconnect. But if there will be one, it will be in the best interest of the U.S. on the whole. And the U.S. would not be associated with a country that is a generator of terrorism. It will not be associated with a leader like Bandar, who is playing a major role in the bloody war going on in Syria and supporting terrorists.
The U.S. now downplays this shift with Saudi Arabia, possibly thinking that the Saudis are not going to go too far. But the U.S. has underestimated such dynamic before with Saddam Hussein. He was an ally at one point with the Mujahideen in Afghanistan and other folks. So in this case, it all depends on how far Saudi Arabia is actually willing to go with this snub.